Hi, welcome to my spice tin. I'm Rack and today we're going to be making my basic simple chicken curry recipe. It's the recipe I learned from my dad. It's foundational to a lot of other recipes that you'll see on my channel. So let's crack on, let's get going and let's get spiced up. A quick rundown of our ingredients for my basic simple chicken curry recipe. I've got 2 tomatoes that I'm going to chop up or whiz up. Alternatively, you could use 10 tomatoes or passata, whatever you want. Some tomato puree, which I've got in the fridge at the moment. 1 whole onion that we're going to chop or whiz up again. Lots of garlic. I've got about 6-7 cloves, a big knob of ginger, and I've got about 4 or 5 green chillies. Again, whiz all of this up into a paste. Also, don't forget the chicken, skinned and chopped by my butcher. Thank you very much. And then the key spices that we're going to have. When we start off, I've got a stick of cinnamon, some cardamom and some cloves. I put these into the oil when I start the cooking. And then in my spice tin, ground coriander and cumin, turmeric and salt as well. Chopped up coriander to add and garnish at the end. At the end, my family garam masala. If you're after a really good garam masala, go to myspicetin.co.uk, click on the link in the description below. Got the gas on, probably a bit of a high heat to begin with and then down to medium. Just going to put in probably 2-ish tablespoons of oil, sunflower oil, vegetable oil, whatever you've got. And get that warmed up. Remember the spices I mentioned earlier? I'm going to bung those in. That's a stick of cinnamon, some cardamom, and some cloves. Let's just warm that up, get the flavours into the oil. In about a minute or so, things are starting to sizzle. Now I'm going to get my onions in. These are the chopped onions. I did them in a little whizzer. You can just chop them by hand, totally up to you. Let's get them in. You want to hear that sizzle. You probably want to start to give them a mix. You hear that? Lovely sound. I will probably turn this down to a medium heat now because you don't want them to burn. If you can still hear me, keep mixing them so they don't stick all through the oil and through those spices that you've already got in there, the cardamom, the cloves and the cinnamon. That's going to stay in there for the whole of the cooking process. I want to get them relatively brown and probably about 5 minutes or so. Right, we're going about 3-4 minutes. The onion's starting to brown nicely. Now, the next step, the chili, ginger, garlic. So I had about 5 green chilies. You may have less. Ginger, good knob of ginger, and about 6 or 7 cloves of garlic. I whizzed them up in a whizzer. Again, you could chop them finely, totally up to you. You want to get it quite fine into this paste. Get those in now. You want to cook, mix it up and cook it through. You don't want it raw. So I cook this for another 3 to 5 minutes. I'll turn the heat down so it doesn't stick and burn in your pan. And just keep mixing it. I'm going to now add my spices and everything into my chopped tomatoes. Tomato puree that I'm going to put in. A nice good dollop of that. If you're measuring it, probably I'll put about 2 tablespoons worth. And then I'm going to put in my ground coriander and cumin. So you can be quite generous with this. I'm 1, 2, 3 big teaspoons of that I'm putting in. Turmeric, I'm going to put about a teaspoon of that into there. Nice colour. And then also salt. Some people may want more, some people want less. I do about 2 teaspoons. You can always add more as you're tasting your cooking as you go through. So I'm just putting 2 teaspoons to start off with. I'll turn up the heat a bit. We're going to add our tomato and spice mixture. Going to get that into the pan and mix it up. It starts to sizzle away and start to mix that through to the onions and the garlic, ginger and chili paste that's already in there. Keep mixing that through. I've got that up to a medium heat now. And as you'll see, this is quite a liquidy mixture. It's not that thick yet. We want to get it into a really good consistency. And that's going to be like into a bit of a sort of dough ball. take your time about this, because this masala is the foundation to your curry. This could take you anything up to 10 to 20 minutes. So this is our base masala that we call it. Once you've made this, you can actually use this for lots of different things. You can add different meats, fish, prawns, but this base can be used for loads and loads of different things. You can actually make this base masala and then freeze it into little pots. Another little tip for you. I also add a bit of water to get all of that paste out as well, and I'll throw that into the mixture. Don't worry, it will burn off. It's not very much. Right, it's been about 10 minutes now, and you can start to see as you move and turn this around, it's getting thicker, and you can feel that against your spoon. It wants to be even thicker than this. It's going to turn into like a bit of a ball. Keep moving it though, you know, every few minutes give it a good move and you'll feel the consistency changing. Right, I think we're there. Let's have a look at this. See, as I turn it, it's turning into that ball type of dough. Don't worry about stuff that may be a little bit stuck at the bottom. Once we add the chicken in and the juices start flowing, that'll all mix in. But you can really taste now, give it a little taste, the real flavours of all of those spices, the chili, ginger, garlic. This masala is just great. Take your time about it, as I've said, because it is the foundation to making your curry. Right, we're ready to now put our chicken in, and in that goes, as I said, a whole chopped chicken, skinned and chopped by my local butcher. You could do this yourself if you want. If you don't want a whole chicken, I always say definitely have chicken on the bone. You can get some chicken pieces from your supermarket, some thighs and some drumsticks and some breasts, and chop those up. Totally up to you. Mix all of that masala all around every bit of that chicken now. I get this on just over a medium to high heat, because you just want the chicken to brown a bit. You're probably thinking, how is this going to turn into a curry? There's no sauce, there's nothing at the moment. The magic happens when you put the lid on. Just wait and see. The lid will go on, leave it, don't look at it, don't be tempted. It's on a low heat, so don't worry. This is when the magic happens over the next half an hour. The juices will start to flow out and the sauce will be created. And then we can decide if we want to add a little bit more water or not. That's totally up to you, how saucy you want your curry. You might want it a bit dry this time, you might want some extra sauce, and you can add some water in. Let's see how it goes in about 15 minutes. People ask me what sort of pan you should use for when you're cooking your curry. Something like this, you know, a deepish steel pan is ideal, but it really depends what you've got. I do have a friend who asked me this recently. I was trying to teach him to cook, and I've still got to do that. But he just said, I've got a frying pan, can I use a frying pan? Not really, but if that's all you've got, give it a go, and put in the comments below how that worked. But really, a pan like this with a lid is ideal. Right, it's been 15 minutes. Let's have a look. Let's see what's been going on in that pot where it's been steaming away and cooking away. You see the juices are starting to flow. Give it another good mix. Try and be delicate with that chicken. And see, there's more sauce now coming out at the bottom. Still quite thick. Yeah, depends on the chicken that you use and things like that. But personally, I wouldn't put any water into this until I've left it for another 15 minutes. So that would have been half an hour in total for this to cook and steam away. But some people would like to put water in now, they just can't hold back. But I would personally wait, and then you know how much water and how saucy you want it. So totally up to you. If you want to put some water now, I wouldn't put much more than a cup. You can always add more, but you can't really take it out. So we've been going about half an hour now. So let's open the lid and see what's going on. Told you, look at the amount of sauce that's coming out. You really don't need much water. You could add a little bit in at this stage if you want. Depends how saucy you want it. I'll give it another mix. You can see in here, I can see one of the bones. Still probably about 15 minutes on a low heat to cook. Give it a mix and you'll see the amount of sauce that's come out of those bones. Incredible, absolutely incredible. Give it a taste. The flavours are going to be amazing. So good. Right, another little mix. I'm actually going to add just a touch of water. Got a cup here, not all of this because you can always add more, so just a little bit. That's all, and give it a mix. It will mix into all of that thick sauce. More juices will come out the bones as well. So there you go. Look at the amount of sauce there. I've added less than half a cup of water just then. Lid back on. I'm going to leave it for another 10-15 minutes. I think we're there. Let's open up and see how it's going. Check out the amount of sauce you've got in there. Remember, I added less than half a cup of water into that after the second round of checking it. Give it a good mix. You could add some more water now if you really wanted to. I think this is great for how I want to eat it. I'm going to actually turn the gas off. Give it a nice little shake about. What we add now, garam masala. So it really depends where you've got your garam masala from. This is my grandmother's recipe that's been passed down through the generations. Maniben's family garam masala. I'm going to put in probably about a good half heaped teaspoon. Sprinkle it around. This will really enhance the flavour. Trust me, it will. And it changes the colour of your sauce as well. It starts to become quite dark, as you'll see. Also, now garnish off with a good handful of chopped coriander, stalks and all. And there we are, we're done. I'd serve this with some basmati rice, whatever you've got. Even the packet rices are great. And some naan bread. As I said, after you've made this 2 or 3 times, you'll find your own little variations, how saucy you want it, different things you might add in, different twists you'd make. But this will get you going. Hope you like it. Put your comments in the description below and message us. Let us know how you get on. Get spiced up.